Dummy Swish Pod. The boys are back.
Yes,
How are you,
sir.
Chris?
Yes, sir. Oh, God, it's champagne, a good weekend for South African rugby. So yeah, good. How you doing?
Good myself. The Dan Carters of podcasting here to give you
Uh-huh.
our opinions, our flagrant takes, just church announcements. Can find us here, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, leave comments below whether you agree, you disagree. And you
Hey.
talk about champagne, champagne. Something
Mm.
we also need is we need the glasses for the champagne and we need some brooms because it's a clean sweep.
Yeah, no. Yeah, look, clean sweep started off, the Lions. I think they set the tone.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, you know, all I could think was you played in brilliant, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Geez, the intensity that they had, in terms of
Yeah.
the attack, broken field. You give them a sniff, they back themselves, man, and when they get it right, they'll hurt you. They'll hurt
Yeah,
you.
before we get into like the individual performances, the thing I want to sort of look at is having watched the games, the Lions have improved. I think
Mm.
even incomings, outgoings, kind of I'd lean more in the team's gotten better in that part. Uh the Bulls, having watched the Bulls, I think the Bulls have gotten better. The
Yeah.
Sharks,
Uh,
the bar was on the floor before, so it's kind of like they have
yeah.
to get better. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
gonna base it solely on log
Mm.
position, they
Yeah.
just have to do better, and they've gotten better personnel wise.
Yeah.
The Stormers are the only ones for me where I'm kind of looking at it like, is this team better than what they were last year?
Mm. Mm. I agree. I think with the Stormers, I think yes, in terms of when different players are being selected, we saw a different looking loose trio, Morabe there, and I
Yeah,
was thinking about the Stormers that it's time now for one of these guys to, you know, be that guy because it looks like when Evan Ross is not there, you know, there's something that's missing, for me within that sort of loose trio where you've got that guy
yeah.
that's constantly giving you that front foot. Okay, he does make mistakes, but yeah, they are slightly better, than where they were in terms of right now. I think it's more about the their focus and intensity,
Yeah.
because that's the difference for me. Where that's where they've lacked before in big games in executing, and they've got to fix that. And I think better slightly.
I guess it's early days. We'll see. We'll see. But starting the week off, Lions versus Edinburgh. Um, the thing that stood out for me, obviously, the first half, biggest halftime lead in URC history.
Yeah.
The ball was getting thrown about. But for me, the biggest takeaway is how good these guys are when they come back from Bok camp. And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily guys that have been like starting for the Boks or whatever. It's just that
Yeah.
environment, that camp seems to bring out the best in guys. You see how
The
well
confidence.
Faflight is playing, Edwell is playing, and
Mhm.
Edwell, he was only there for a short period of time.
Mhm.
I know he's coming back from injury, but it's just like these
Yeah.
guys, Q and Horn as well. The game just looks easier for him
Yeah.
at club level,
Jeez.
having been there.
Yeah, and Kieran Horn, especially for me, especially him, is just poised. That's what I can say about him. And now it's just gone to that next level, that extra time.
Yeah,
It's like you say, it's just looking too easy. And yeah, there's something good that's happening there. If this is what's going to, what it's going to translate to, and you have to commend then the national setup and also those players taking that forward because I mean it's not like they were playing like you say,
yeah.
so it's that sort of growth that you want to see, and yeah, for the Lions, it's making a difference, a big time difference.
Yeah, the Lions essentially Edinburgh at one stage had 60% possession. Lions are just living off of counter,
Mm,
just living off of
mm,
any kind of mistake, any kind of line break, any kind of once it gets
mm.
going, any broken play, that's when it's on. I mean, even the one try they defended 11 phases as soon as they get that ball. And the funny thing is, even if you look at that, as soon as they got the ball, even the forwards, they just pointed like this. They're like, no,
Yeah,
it must go
let's
wide. It
go.
must go
Let's
wide.
go. N1. N1. You
That's
know?
the thing, and it's you've got Rabs that's on form. You've got Edwin van der Merwe that's just come back from
Yeah.
injury. He's on form. You've got a set piece that's functioning. The
Yeah.
lineouts there, Mazoe, Madfield, Landsberg. He's integrated well into the
Very
URC
well.
team. You know,
Mm.
Yonka also he provides that playmaking
Yeah.
ability. He's also integrated well. I mean, these are guys that were playing URC last season, but not the kind of minutes that they're seeing now.
And credit, because that's that line system, you know, of development to the players are looking more comfortable, at this level and producing what they're producing at home, you know.
Yeah,
And I say at home, because there's still other tests, it's still early days, yes, but looking
yeah.
good. And it's almost like a progression from where they were, last season, where we were saying that there's something about this team that you were close, to breaking into the knockouts there. So yeah, I think it's only progression for them, and it'll be good to see where it goes, because
Yeah.
they gotta keep on backing it up at the end of the day. That's what's going to be the difference. And
Yeah,
also,
I think they will. I think they will. The only issue is, yeah, you've got Fenter is now out for 4 months. He's got
mm,
a shoulder injury. You're only going to see him. I think they said maybe February. You've got Volater that is also playing well.
mm,
That he
mm,
also he pulled up for one of the tries, and then but they said I
he's
think they
starting
said
to
that
look more
his isn't.
comfortable.
Yeah, his injury I don't think is as long term, but they don't want to send him on a flight when he can't even play the first game. Well, the
Yeah.
funny thing also about that is it pushed Morne Vandenberg to kick for poles, which I've never seen before. So he follows that Faf Light nickname. He's even kicking for
Yeah.
poles like Faf did as an alternative kicker. But yeah, second half, what I will say, Lions did well to prevent the bonus points,
For this point,
which they
yeah.
couldn't do. They couldn't do the week before. And then Edinburgh, I think after they learned their lesson from the first half, they kept it tight.
Mm,
They kicked the ball out as well because that was one of the things with the Lions. Like if you're gonna kick the
mm,
ball, Kieran Horn's just gonna get that thing and run it back, lay the platform, and it's these guys they're problem solving. You know, when they're seeing those defenders in front of them, they if it's a wide pass, if it's this, if it's that,
yeah.
they're just solving the picture in front of them, which is good coaching, good player instincts.
Mm, mm. Couldn't have said it better myself, Quarters. And that I think, epitomizes where they are,
Yeah.
as a union, yeah, bubbling under, looking good, looking good.
Yeah, again, I'll lay out my apologies for Cash Van Rooyen and Ricardo Locha. I've called you a fraud on a public platform. Now
before,
I must acknowledge that
before,
that maybe I was the fraud, but uh,
even Ricardo, he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. Come on,
yeah,
fellas.
he's doing his thing. We'll see how the tour goes. Moving on now, Bulls versus Ulster. Bulls team loaded with a loaded
Yeah.
team. That was the Boks were back. And
Mm.
just look, it's a stacked team. I think Jake White was saying this is like the strongest team that he's had. Uh,
And you saw the better attitude.
yeah, and for me, it's the only issue is going to be because this is they're real contenders. Even watching this game, I can see like no, they're better than last season. Last
Yeah.
season they were in the final, they could have won the final, so obviously that's what they're going to want. But for me, it's they're contenders. But the issue for me is how long are they going to be able to put this team out?
Yeah.
Because guys are going to get called on certain duties, guys are going to get arrested. I know Arons is going to Japan, but he should be back for the playoffs. So it's you want this team as much as possible.
Yeah. You do. And with this team, you started to see that blue bull within there,
Yeah,
because it was relentless, the intensity, better attitude. But now it's like you say, you want this team to be playing as much as possible. For me, I'm always going to say as well, with what they've been trying to build, that big roster, they need to ensure that they can have guys that are going to be equally on form, to
yeah,
fill those. There's no other way. That's the only, because the realities, you can't run away from the realities of the fact that, like you said, the guy's going to get called up. So
yeah,
it's about the next guys. We saw there's a big difference in the scrum. So it's a guy like, for example,
yeah, yeah,
Matanzina that, you know, okay, yes, he played when you were sick and things like that, but you can't have a day like that again. You know what I mean? If you want to contend, so for them, yes, better team, and the strike
yeah,
pays. They're doing the Bulls thing. It's about that, you know, the next group, where that pressure is coming from. So, okay, the next
yeah,
best, because you see it there a little bit in the loose tree. You got your Kumetes and the Gomes, it's coming together. But then you see now guys like Marcel Coetzee almost falling away, Nizam Kar, and which I was sort of advocating for a few weeks ago to say, maybe, there is a shift within, and but now it's because those guys have now stepped up, but now the other
yeah. They're breaking
guys,
away. The gap is getting bigger and
yeah,
bigger. Yeah, I mean, we
yeah,
saw set piece issues totally resolved with Volko Low there, with Stina come back,
mm,
Nokia in the lineouts, because the lineouts were also a problem. I think the Bulls had five scrum penalties in the first 30 minutes. That's when the ref finally decided. How five scrum penalties in the first 30
yeah,
minutes? That's when he decided
jeez,
to give that guy a yellow. And another thing that I'm liking Chamberlain at 10. I'm a big
yeah,
proponent. I thought he was going to have a big season, and I think even better things are coming. Personally, I think I'm a big believer. In
yeah,
that guy. I think he gets the back line going. I'd even have him ahead of Kusin. So it was nice to see he gets the back line going. Papier is good, but when Papier comes off, Keegan Johannes comes on and he also
mm,
brings some energy.
you
So
see,
there's good things there. Creel also, he
hey,
even looks like
50
he's bulked up a
caps,
bit there,
50 caps, yeah, look,
So they've got some guys there. Also the
yeah,
conversation this week, also one that Jake was having, was that maybe Moody's future is at 13.
mm,
In terms of Bulls, and if we look also in terms of Boks, because he's played there for the
yeah,
Boks.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
something to monitor as well.
Yeah, and I mean, quickly as well, on the wings, a threat. I think Buta Chamberlain, him with Villy Ruth, that it
Yeah,
works beautifully, and I think especially for that spark, he would need a guy like a LaRue, a playmaker like him to complement the way that he plays. Otherwise, you will probably see if LaRue is out to maybe see him go back to 15. I don't know, but I'm just saying that
yeah,
I fear that that may be the case, because right
yeah,
now, like with this last game, they worked well together, interchanged. I mean that cross kick from Villy to him, it's a 10-15 swap. They both play 10, both play 15, you know, clear understanding, and yeah. So the next guy that's gonna probably play fullback, does it takes that away, and Buta's
yeah. So
game is gonna be a
Immelman is
bit
the
different.
other fullback. He's the other fullback on tour, and that guy, I
You
could do
know,
a better job at 15 than that
but
guy. I don't
but
I
I'm
don't I
but
don't
but
believe.
but but I agree with you there with that. Buta looking good at 10. Like, he looks really good, slick, got the pace as well to attack the gain line. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think within the backs they sort of they're more okay within the backs. They've got more threats, guys that can deliver. It's just
Yeah.
again the packs. That's where the balance. I think they need to find with the next guys that can push.
Yeah, these guys, it's like Creel. Creel is he's almost like Franco Horn, where it's those guys that kind of unlikely to play for the Boks, but in terms of club, and the
Yeah,
form that they're playing, they're right up there with guys that are internationals, and they would probably be
yeah.
internationals in other countries.
Mm,
Even speaking of internationals, Hanekom, that thing, it's just a matter of time. I think,
yeah.
they've got his blazer there. It's being tailor-made. It's the dimensions. He just needed to
Yeah,
email them.
no. Yeah, no, he's looking good, better and better. Even the decision making, it looks like he wants it. He
Yeah.
plays like it, man. So yeah. But again, it's also, like it's early days, because like, I'll echo what I said last week. The South African teams have got to be more consistent in winning overseas, too. I want more of that legitimacy, where
Yeah.
we can go there and go and do jobs that side,
Yeah,
So
it's the
yeah,
same. Lions and Bulls, same thing. They're leaving this week, so we'll see what they do
mm,
overseas if they can get some good results there. Let's go to the
yeah,
two teams that were overseas that did manage
yeah.
to get some wins. Smash and grab. Smash and grabs. The Sharks needed it
Hey,
right at the end, and Fez Mpata was the man that pulled through.
yeah. Look, they stayed in the fight. The desperation is there, this week. Uh, that's the one thing that I'll say. But at the moment, they just again, I'll say maybe things are not clear, the voice because
Yeah.
you've got the guys. I mean, we saw it there,
This team is loaded. The team
yeah,
that they've
man.
got the players. So
Yeah,
I'm personally I'm also on the side of maybe because if you're looking objectively, if Dobbo had these guys, if Jake
yeah,
had these guys, if
yeah,
Cash
yeah,
had
yeah,
these guys,
yeah,
even
yeah,
Cash,
yeah, 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 yeah. Even
you
my
know you
man
know what I
Cash,
mean?
even my man Cash.
So now I won't lie. I'm also starting to look at this thing like what's going on here. Personally,
Ah,
before I was leaning on the side of team culture and team culture not being great and the dressing room maybe
yeah,
not
but
being I feel but now I feel like they've had so many incomings, outgoings that problem is almost no more there. Well, I don't
mm,
it doesn't come across on the screen.
look like it. Doesn't
Yeah.
look like it.
So now it's like, what is the issue? I mean, granted,
Mm,
granted, Dragons did play well. They didn't show the
yes.
Sharks any respect. They played like a home team. The
Yeah.
supporters were cheering like they were the home team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sharks, I mean, they couldn't get territory. They couldn't get possession for first 20 minutes. Sharks gave away, I think, first, what was it? 5 penalties to 0
Mm,
in like the opening 15
yeah.
20 minutes. So I mean they couldn't get, yeah, I think I wrote down one of these stats: 86% possession that
Mm.
Dragons had to Sharks 32, 88% territory to Sharks 12, 5 penalties to 0. So I mean those the first 15 couldn't get out of their half, couldn't get the ball.
And and in general, for me as well, I'll be honest and I'll say, in general, even the general wasn't generally, because you know, I lost was it the last game? It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
no, Curry Cup, what? No, no, no. We know we are past that now, because for me that's what I'm saying, that it translates to that there is an issue, and there's things
I
that are not
okay,
clear
personally, I don't think. I
because
think I don't think so. I think Masuku is still in preseason. Yes, I will admit he's still in preseason.
yeah,
He's not all the way there, but he's still playing well enough. My thing is there's like discipline issues.
mm,
Jason Jenkins, he got a yellow in the second half, but in the first half he also did something stupid. Like the scrum half got the ball and he just hits it out of his hand. Like what are you doing?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for me,
yeah,
it's more like these guys are not patient because okay,
yeah.
in that situation, what are you gonna do? You can't get territory, so you have to get the ball back somehow. How are you gonna
Mm,
do that? You have to be patient in defense.
mm.
Just tackle these guys. Hopefully
Set
they
your
knock on.
structures, tackle,
Hopefully we
put
can steal
pressure.
the ball at some. Yes,
Mm,
but they're not patient. They're giving away penalties. They're doing stupid things like that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that for me is the bigger issue. And then what happens every single time Dragons now start building a lead? Then there's the spark from Julius and Hook.
yeah. Yeah, then the young guns, because you see that they've got threats, out there, and you can see that when they do initiate things and
Yeah,
play, that they can really they can damage, they can do damage, but like you say, just those things, the patience is not there, the inaccuracy, is not there. And you mentioned earlier that the territory stats, possession, and you
yeah.
can't win a game of rugby like that. But credit to
But they
them,
won it.
you know, credit to them. Somehow, and that's what I said. They stayed in the fight. They were desperate. That desperation and the Dragons also were, for them being the home team with those stats, and play like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's if you're them, they definitely they kicking themselves for sure.
yeah,
But
yeah. They should have won this game. They should have won
yeah,
this game. But again, the Sharks, the personnel that's there, like I said, you've got
it's
Julius and Hooker. Both of them
that's what
have
brings it through,
those guys have game breaking ability. They have
and you
that
can't rely on
moment.
that.
The Sharks are relying on that. They're relying on that, and they're relying on Esther Hazen. Let's be honest;
Mm,
those are the only
yeah,
things. Even
yeah,
the coach, that's why even like he's just saying no, pass to those three boys because they'll make something happen.
something will happen.
That's the
Something
thing.
will
Also,
happen.
their set
Yeah,
piece defense. I know. Okay, I have to give credit to Dragons to say some of those moves that they were doing from set
they
piece were really good. But Sharks, they have to look themselves in the mirror and say set piece defense. Ethan
yeah,
Hooker, as much as he has that game breaking ability, he's playing on the wing where he's unfamiliar at defending. So
yeah.
there's things like that. But yeah,
Look,
like the coach, I don't know. Your coach, I
no, and
don't
that's
know.
why and that's why this is the second week I'm saying this about the voice, but okay. But look, I'll say this about Hooker. At the same time, there's many great centers that started there on the wing, and I think
Yeah.
he should that experience. Maybe we just hope we can see improvement, progression from him. And understanding how to defend that space. And I think it'll do him in good stead going forward. But
And
hey,
Am is coming back. Am is
and
coming back. So what's going to happen then?
yeah,
Who's Julius is probably going to move to wing as well.
probably. How they're going to balance those combinations, because at the same time you also Julius has showed his value. That
Yeah.
you can't not have him in your match day, squad, if he's fit. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see
Even
what happens.
Sia, I also want to see
Yeah,
what happens when Sia
yeah,
integrates into this team because I'll be
yeah,
honest with you, Chituka, I don't know if I feel like they gave him the captaincy just to make him stay. I don't like,
yeah.
because there
And he
were rumors
deserves
of him going to France. So I
to
think they
France.
gave him the captaincy to make him stay. But now Sia's gonna come back. And to be
mm,
honest, these guys are I don't think there's a captain in this team. I think everybody is
yeah,
too I mean, because these guys are all well established.
yeah.
Well, the
So
majority of them are well established. So to me, it looks like it's almost, I won't say every man for himself in terms of like, I don't know. It just
and
looks
God
like
for us all, because God has been pulling them through. You know what I mean? Every man for himself, but God for us all, man. Hey, because God's been doing it for them, man.
yeah, I don't know. It just looks like everybody is their own
Uh,
boss. I'll put it that way. It looks like
yeah,
everybody they're all running their own companies. Their own none of them are employees. They're all running their own companies. That's what it just looks like to me. It looks like there's no one boss there, but
yeah. There's no chief. There's no
mm,
chief. Yeah, and but as well, I'll put that back to the top, because
yeah,
that's where it starts. You know what I mean? That's where it starts. So if it doesn't get fixed there at the top, in terms of setting that tone, and if that's the way, I don't think it'll work
yeah,
for a group like this.
yeah.
But
Moving on to Stormers versus Zebra. Stormers, this one, guys, it was a tidy performance. The
yeah,
entertainment value, I have to say, especially against
yes,
Italian opposition, it's not great for me. These are every time we play an Italian team, I miss Super Rugby. But it was a tidy performance. I felt like, early they were just feeling each other out.
mm,
Stormers just 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, and then they established, okay, scrum dominance. The forwards
yeah.
were more
They built
physical.
they built that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah, they
that game up.
managed. Yeah, they managed the game. They managed it perfectly. There's no better
Mm,
way than what
yeah,
they did. And then
yeah,
eventually the
because
back
they
started,
showed everything.
yeah,
Yeah, they did all the basics. Okay, this is what to do this well. Get in this position, 3 points, build a pressure, set
yeah,
piece. And you saw strike plays. Then you also saw phase play. Try. They showed us
yeah,
everything. But that's why I think the different selection as well contributed to that. Yes, Italian opposition, but you need the guys that are going to execute that, like to execute,
yeah.
and yeah, that's why I liked, especially the with Murabi there at 8. I quite enjoy him.
Yeah, he had a good game. His little dummy there from the line out for Devet to go through.
Mm,
That was when they started showing, some kind of spark. And I think for me, second half also Willemse moved to 10. Haaland came on, and then you start to see more creativity. That's what I felt like they were missing last week. But
mm,
the creativity now it came through in those guys. I think Haaland is going to be very, very important for them. And I mean, obviously, Boks still has to come back.
yeah,
Personally, I'm feeling they might have to break that center combo up and play Willemse at 12 because,
like 12, man,
yeah, I'm
and probably
just
to Plessis
feeling,
to 13.
yeah, I don't know what it is, but I just feel like they need to get him closer to the ball because especially
Mm,
in this team, they need him closer to the
mm,
ball.
mm,
Mattia
mm.
has been playing well. I can't say anything bad about him. I just think Willemse maybe at 12,
Yeah, because
I
he's
enjoyed
also
the
got
second half when he got closer to the ball.
yeah, because the ability that he has, the passing range that he's got, to be at the line, the feet as well. I think even junior years or previous seasons, we've also seen him play at 12, and
Yeah.
he makes the backline look. There's a different picture that backline presents with him there. Just the way that he attacks. And his physicality as well in defense. Is he's no slouch there as well. So yeah, I think he, it's a likelihood. Especially when everybody's fit.
Yeah. I think Zas also had a good game. The only other thing that I've got to say is, personally, I'm monitoring this ship because I feel like this ship might sink at some stage. They did well. Obviously, Zebra, they weren't gonna beat Munster and Stormers back to back. But this team, you look at it and you've got Paul de Vet is leaving. Who came on for him? Devald Dervenach,
Yeah,
who's like 47 years old or something like that. So it's like, guys, where are we going? What are we doing?
yeah.
Where's the succession planning?
Is
Where's
it Imad Khan?
Imad Khan? He's injured at the moment,
Who's injured now?
or I think
So
he's injured, or but what
He doesn't have
I'm looking
competition at
for.
his age group. I'm just asking.
There's no one there. These guys, they're just playing old guys. Even Dion Foree has been injured. I don't think he's played since the World Cup.
Uh,
Evan Rose is injured. That's what I'm saying,
yeah,
guys. There's an issue here with this team. I feel like they're in a transition rebuilding
yeah.
phase, and they're on the edge of losing it.
You're right, Curtis. You're right. They're about to just hit the
And
cliff.
I feel like it can go either way. I feel like they
Yeah,
can, you know, get it together and whatever. But it's like Paul de Vet and Divinoch, then what's gonna happen?
yeah,
Things like that, where it's just like Dion Faree hasn't played since the World Cup. Evan Ruiz goes out, okay, Morabe stepped up.
yeah.
Do they have a number six? It's
Mm,
things like that where I'm just I don't know. I think the other teams have done a better job in terms of reinforcing their squads and
mm,
bringing in guys from the Curry Cup. We saw how bad they were in the Curry Cup.
yeah, true, true. And that's why earlier I was saying that it's about, somebody there's gotta, they've gotta step up, and be that guy,
Yeah,
and have a lot of them being those guys, because yeah, like you say, it can go either way. It can go
yeah,
either way. So yeah, but all in all, Kudas, for me, they showed the intensity that they needed to show,
yeah,
and the execution that they needed to show, So we know that they can do it, because at the end of the day, is that they show that now it's a matter of, you know,
yeah,
can they build something from there, and maybe a different sort of character within the team or of the team, you know, and yeah, because they need some, it's like that spark is gone, because remember that season where they won, they had there was that spark about them, the way that they
yeah.
play, it's, so I think it's more of that, where the source is a bit, it hasn't fired,
All I'm gonna say about this team was home final, win, home final, lose. Then what is it? Kicked out quarterfinals. So we
Mm,
can see the way that they are trending.
yeah.
So what's going to happen this season? But yeah, I think let me also just keep quiet. I don't want the
Still
Stormers
early
supporters to come
days.
for me.
Still early
Yeah,
days though.
we'll see. Fixtures for this weekend: Benetton hosting Sharks. Sharks win. Edinburgh Stormers. We'll see what Edinburgh do
Yeah,
when they
because
get
they're at
home.
home
But I
now,
think
no?
yeah, Stormers have been in Europe, so they may be actually, up
Yeah.
for this one. You've got Ospreys versus Bulls. We'll see how the Bulls do on tour, and Dragons versus Lions. It's going to be tough for Lions, especially the performance Dragons put out this weekend.
Yeah. Against the Sharks. So, but I think they can, yeah, Stormers on Sharks, yes. But I think the Lions, the Bulls one maybe, but I think the Lions, they'll be able to do it, you know?
We'll see. I don't think it'll be a sweep this weekend. That's all I'll say. I don't think it'll sweep this week. Women's rugby. I watched a bit of it. I
Yeah.
also I need to be like Sia and support more. I watched a bit of it
Yeah.
there. The scrum half, yo, I believe in her. I believe in her.
Okay.
But the only thing you can see Swayze there is, he's got that Lions type of play, like they can run the ball. Nice to see them
Yeah.
running the ball, good scrums. The only thing I missed tackles was just killing the momentum. But
Mm,
besides that, it was
okay.
very, very, very entertaining. And it's good to
All
see
right. No, I'm
Sia
gonna get
out
on
there as
that.
well.
Yeah, let's support the women's game too. Let's get on that as well. I think, yeah, I'll have a look. This sounds promising.
Any closing remarks from you?
I know. Look, all I'm gonna say, the Sharks, they just need to hear the voices. That's all, and we hope for better.
Yeah, we're running a countdown until they fire Plum. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. But that's it from us, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.